Hi, Becca here from Reset and Restore. Today we are going to dive into consciousness. We will discuss the definitions of consciousness, the connection of consciousness to science and the unified field, why it is important, and how we can experience it in a deeper way. Explained simply, consciousness is a state of awareness of our external and internal existence. With consciousness, we are. We experience being. Without consciousness, we wouldn't exist. The Oxford language defines consciousness as awareness by the mind of itself and the world. As far back as we can recall in history, there have been numerous debates on the origin of consciousness as it relates to creation. Where does everything we see come from? How do we explain and make sense of that which we can't see with our physical eyes? There have been many philosophers who have discussed different states or experiences of consciousness, the most understood states of which are sleeping, dreaming, and waking. In sleeping, we don't have an experience per se of self or of an object. In dreaming, we don't experience self, but we may experience object. Our brainwave activity resembles that of waking, except we can't physically act. In waking, we have full, concrete sensory experiences of self and object. The next state of consciousness after waking is transcendental consciousness. In this state, we have access to pure consciousness. We are fully awake, yet settled inward to experience our innermost self. It is pure in the sense that it is awareness itself. A meditation practice can garner the experience of pure consciousness. Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, the founder of the Transcendental Meditation technique, TM, rooted from the Vedic tradition of India, described pure consciousness as quoted, quote, "The state of being is one of pure consciousness, completely out of the field of relativity. There is no world of the senses or of objects, no trace of sensory activity, no trace of mental activity." He also described consciousness in waking, then back into consciousness in meditation, and how it integrates oneself. Quote, "When consciousness is flowing out into the field of thoughts and activity, it identifies itself with many things, and this is how experience takes place. Consciousness coming back into itself gains an integrated state. This is pure consciousness." End quote. The qualities of pure consciousness have been explained by many as being infinite, beyond time and space, unbounded, pure joy, pure knowledge and intelligence, infinite silence, pure balance. Einstein was one of the forefathers ahead of his time that proclaimed that the core of nature is one, that when you get to the deeper layers, there is a unified field where all matter exists and where we all come from and are a part of. In the past century, modern science has been uncovering Einstein's proclamation as the structure of our universe has been further broken down into building blocks of layers upon layers of creation. The layers in which we can most readily see and understand are within our body via our systems of bones, joints, organs, down to the level of cells and atoms. Like an onion, we peel back layers and layers of understanding as microscopes have allowed us to peer into further detail, and telescopes have allowed us to begin to see the vastness of our galaxies and stars beyond our understanding and perception, as in the grand wholeness of the universe, we are but fine particles of dust, and yet made of the very same particles of which have formed the galaxies. I've been privileged in my studies to learn from physicists, doctors, and great spiritual leaders of our time. I've always believed there is a greater connection to science and spirit, in which my primary education left many empty spaces. Maharishi, the founder of Maharishi International University, studied ancient Vedic wisdom and learned from wise gurus before him. He had deep compassion for our world to eliminate suffering. As he understood the deeper value of consciousness, he lived his life to bring forth a greater understanding of the link between ancient Vedic wisdom and modern science. And so I hope to bring this knowledge forward in the same light of energy, in hopes that you will also gain a deeper understanding of the importance and value of pure consciousness for humanity. The Dr. Hagelin, a respected physicist and president of Maharishi International University, explains the unified field as the field of infinite silence, unchanging unity, and yet dynamic at the surface, percolating of superstrings that reverberate and connect us to the physical matter and building blocks of life. Everything we see is an expression of the unified field, the unseen. The comparison between the fields of matter, according to modern-day physics, in relation to Ayurveda's concepts are quite profound. In Ayurveda, we have 5 elements of air, space, fire, water, and earth. All these elements also correspond to the quantum superfields, where we have graviton, gravitino, forces, matter, and Higgs. Then, as we group these further, we have 3 superfields: the gravity superfields, gauge, and matter, and 3 dosha types, vata, pitta, and kapha. In Ayurveda, these dosha types help us to better understand our makeup and to how to keep balance for optimal health. As we turn from matter to mind, I find the most beautiful connection as it relates to the unified field where consciousness and the origin of all arises. The mind transcends into finer levels of thought as it journeys towards pure consciousness, just as matter transcends into finer particles, where they both unite to the unified field of all the laws of nature. When our nervous system and digestion are stress-free, we are able to experience deeper states of consciousness. Neurochemicals in our brain determine our behavior and are the basis of mental health. There are hundreds of peer-reviewed studies conducted at many universities and research centers, such as Harvard Medical School, Stanford University, and many more reputable establishments. These published studies have shown the benefits of transcendental meditation on one's physiology, such as lowering blood pressure, decreasing cardiac disease, decreasing strokes, increasing fine motor movements, reduction in pain, increased longevity, improved learning ability, and much more. One such randomized control study published in the International Journal of Neuroscience looked at brain functioning compared to eyes closed rest and transcendental meditation, TM, in 38 male and female college students. The results showed significant brainwave differences compared to eyes closed rest and TM practice. The group who participated in the TM practices exhibited higher EEG frontal asymmetry of alpha power and higher frontal EEG coherence. Basically, what this means is there is a greater network communication and connectivity within the brain. In addition, the part of the brain measured, the frontal lobe, plays a key role in regulating emotions in relationships and social situations, including positive attributes of happiness, gratitude, and satisfaction, as well as negative attributes of anger, pain, and sadness. The more we are stressed, the less we want to create. When we are depressed, we don't want to get out of bed. When angry, our mind can't think straight. When sad, it's like we are stuck in quicksand and it's hard to see a way out. When we transcend, we can help clear these stressors, enliven our brain power, and live with more fulfillment with ourselves and others. In silence, we experience our own being and increase our self-awareness. We observe, process, and begin to have greater understanding and knowing. Our brain awakens and expands. Our human nervous system is incredible as it computes with neurons firing to send signals throughout our vast system of networks. We have highways in our minds and in our bodies. These highways are channels of spaces that allow things to flow. These spaces can get clogged up via our inputs, just like a physical highway that breaks down over time and without proper care. It's important for us to cleanse these channels for greater health. As our roads begin to operate more efficiently, we expand our capacity. From my experience as a daily practitioner of Transcendental Meditation for over a year now, I have noticed a profound increase in my brain functioning. My thoughts are more clear and ordered. Things that cause other people stress don't affect me the same way. I feel more stable and calm. And after meditation, it's like my channels have cleared, and each step I take into action becomes more efficient and purposeful. It's like I have a super brain with higher processing rates and a body with a matching capacity to express that energy. I get off track and out of rhythm at times, but my body picks up on it real quick, and I'm able to shift sails accordingly. I highly recommend the practice of TM twice a day for approximately 20 minutes in the morning and evening on a daily basis to get the best effects. But more importantly is to start somewhere, even if it's 10 minutes a day to start. TM is like the toothbrush for the brain. It keeps it clean and flowing with greater precision and optimization. As we transcend into silence, we open ourselves to the vastness of consciousness, which is unending space. Being in silence allows our system to recover from the stresses of living and then to reset and restore to new levels of operation. I hope you have learned a bit more about consciousness, how it relates to science and natural laws of living, and how the practice can increase your health. May you be inspired to join me and others in the practice of meditation so that we all may experience greater unity and coherence for the betterment of humanity and the earth that we share together. Thank you.